Hey everybody, this is Teacher Will. This is the place hopefully where you and I learn together. So if you're here for the very first time, welcome. I am back with another Ask Me question, and one of the ATW family members asked me a question, so I think I will make a video into it and answer the question. So without further ado, let's hear the question.
Yo everyone, how's it going? It's Teacher Leon here. I got a question for living legend Teacher Will. If I'm an English learner, what shouldn't or not supposed to do if I want to learn English or help me improve my English? Alright, thanks. Ciao.
All right, Teacher Leon, what's going on? Now, if y'all don't know who Teacher Leon is, I recommend that you check him out. He was born in California in the United States of America, and he currently lives and teaches English in Brazil. Shout out to the brothers and sisters of the ATW family in Brazil. I'll share his contact information at the bottom in the comment section. That's a really interesting question, brother. What I would say, I think there are many different reasons, but what I would like to do is I would like to focus on 3 reasons. So I'm going to call this video 3 things that learners might avoid or be mindful when learning English. Number 1, avoid comparing yourself to others. That's right, avoid comparing yourself to others. What do I mean by that? Well, oftentimes I will hear learners and people learning English say, "Oh, I don't speak like that person. I don't have that person's accent. I don't have that person's confidence. Oh, if I could only learn vocabulary like them, or phrasal verb expressions or idioms. What's the matter with me? Why am I not like that person?" Have you ever been there? I think it's important not to compare yourself to others. Why? Because at the end of the day, you are an individual person that's learning English. And you have to determine what is the best way to learn English for you. That does not mean that you cannot look at people or content material, and if there are things or people that you feel do certain things well, like they have proper intonation or clarity, pronunciation, they're really good with their body language. Those are things that certainly you can try to emulate, or there are things that you can take those skills and attributes and make it your own. But when you compare yourself to someone else, respectfully, I think you're doing yourself a disservice. Why? Because there's only one of you. And you are beautiful, you are unique. And so therefore, stop comparing yourself or avoid comparing yourself to others, because learning English is such an individual journey. So Teacher Leon, Brother Leon, that is my suggestion number 1. Do I have another one? Oh yes. Suggestion number 2. Avoid making excuses. Let me take a sip of tea on this one. What do I mean by avoid making excuses? I don't have enough time to learn English. I don't have anyone to speak English with. I don't have the money. I'm afraid. I'm scared. I don't know where to begin. Now, maybe, Teacher Leon, maybe you don't use those things, and maybe I don't use those things or say those things. But if I'm honest with myself, I have said some of those aforementioned comments. But at the end of the day, I think learners should recognize when they say that they want to learn English and English is important to them for whatever reason, you might want to stop making excuses. With all of the available resources out there that people have in the 21st century, Whether it is on the internet, whether it is on WhatsApp groups, Telegram groups, whether it's with language schools or universities, colleges, whether it's with tutoring, face to face or online. When I hear people say, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, with all due respect, they're making excuses. And personally speaking, that's okay. Listen, I've been known to make excuses in my life. The thing is that I have to say to myself is, listen, am I comfortable with the excuses? What do I mean? Well, listen, if you're listening or watching this video and you want to learn English, the most precious commodity that I have in my life, beside my family, my loved ones, and the connection to God of my understanding, is time. Here's one thing that I recognized and realized in my life. If something is important to me, I'm going to find to do it. So I think sometimes when learners make excuses, it's not a really good thing because they frustrate themselves, and by making excuses, they might lack confidence or not taking the initiative. So making excuses, I would say learners need to avoid. What's the last suggestion that I have for learners? The last suggestion, I will call it avoid the ESL slogans. What do I mean by that? Learn English fast. Be fluent in English in 30 days. Don't say this. Stop saying this or that. British English, American English. Fix your sound like this or that. I certainly understand why those slogans are used. They are effective, aren't they? Why do I say that? Well, certainly content providers can use those slogans if they want, because they recognize that, hey, those are things that you want. You want to sound like this or fix that or don't stop saying. Listen, people can do that at the end of the day, but I think those slogans might not necessarily be beneficial to you as it relates to learning your English goals. Let me take two, for example. Number one, fluent in English in 30 days. Whatever your native language is, did you become fluent in 30 days? If you didn't become fluent in 30 days with respect to your native language, then how do you think it's possible that you're going to be fluent in English in 30 days? Another example, don't say. Okay, well, perhaps, and it's just me, words have different meanings. How about instead of don't say, you can say another way of saying, or alternative words or expression. But I think those slogans sometimes, they certainly work because they're selling techniques. It's what you want. It is sometimes makes people feel insecure about themselves. And again, that's not a judgment, that's just a reality. But I think that you should, at least a learner, be mindful and try to avoid those slogans, because if those slogans are preventing you from learning English or achieving your goals, you're responsible for doing something about that. Perhaps there's an opportunity that you could use some critical thinking, but I would avoid those slogans. So, Teacher Leon, Brother Leon, Living Legend, those are my suggestions in terms of 3 things that learners should avoid doing while learning English. And if they don't want to avoid them, at least I would say things that you might want to consider. Because at the end of the day, you and I both know English is an individual journey. Here's my final thought. For all of you out there trying to learn English at whatever age, whatever level you're at, wherever you live, I usually say to people, listen, number 1, figure out your why, the purpose and reason for learning English. Number 2, develop a goal. And when you develop those goals, make sure you ask yourself, are they specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely? And number 3 is whatever your particular goals are, you need to ask yourself the question, are you willing to sacrifice and or devote the necessary time and resources? If you think about it, English is a journey. You're learning English, and it's a lifelong process. It's not a sprint. So those are my particular recommendations that are my final thoughts that I have for you. Living legend, Teacher Leon, thank you very much for the question. Now listen, if you out there have any suggestions that you do to avoid learning English, do me a favor, make a comment in the comment section below, because I believe that sharing is caring. So, welcome to the ATW family. If you're new again, click on that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, because this is the place where you and I learn together. Everyone out there, theme of this year for the ATW family, determined. Are you determined to achieve your goals? I'll see you next time. And listen, one last thing. If you out there have a question, send me a message, send me a video, and you know what? I'll do a video to answer your question. Until next time. Bye.